of how long it takes on average for someone to restore the original bacterial gut balance after one course of antibiotics?
No.
Just a
No,
guess?
I have
no
no
clue.
clue.
I'm going
No
to
clue.
guess, and I'm going to say a month.
About 6 months. Yeah, so that's after one course of antibiotics. So let's go back. I mean, sort of when I was born that time, I mean, so 70s, 80s, 90s, they were shared out like sweets. And it's only
Oh
over the
yes. Oh,
last sort of three to
you've got a
5 years.
grazed knee. Here's some antibiotics.
Yeah, well, exactly. Just in case, just in case.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, my
yeah.
son was sneezing a week ago. I'll just take these just in case. And again,
Can I ask you, Julia, does it make a difference in terms of the positive bacteria recovery? Is it age dependent, this 6 month period?
no, I think it is dependent. It's not necessarily age dependent. It's more dependent on all the entire life circumstances.
Right.
So one thing, for instance, I can say is for anyone, if you know anyone who doesn't have the appendix, it's another little nifty story, but the appendix always, we thought, well, as long as it's quiet, it's fine. It's just there, some leftover residue from evolution. And when it flares up, we get it out. So standard operation these days, no big deal, and everyone survives. However, they found a few years ago that the appendix actually has quite an FD, what's the word? Oh, the blackout. A reason for
Functionality or
being there.
use? Yeah.
Use, yeah, use, thanks. And it is, I call it Noah's Ark. Yeah. So you know how Noah collected 2 of each species, a couple of each species to repopulate the world when the floods were gone and all that.
Yes.
Now that's a bit what the appendix does. The appendix is a larder, and it collects good bacteria that you need. So in the event that there is like what they call a catastrophic event of the gut, so which could be virus, it could be a colonoscopy, the flushing out, it could be injury, it could be lots of things. So then this larder, this appendix squirts out these good bacteria to help repopulate the gut faster. Yeah, so it's really sophisticated, and again, yeah, we can live without it, but if we don't have the appendix anymore, and if you know anyone, then just make them aware that they should look a lot more into probiotics. So when you have antibiotics, if you have a problem in your gut, really see to get a good source of good probiotics. So I can give you some examples later, but but does that make sense? I mean, in terms of medication, how medication can mess with your gut
It
bacteria.
does. It
Yeah,
really does. But I was gonna, is there a standard? Should we all be taking probiotics on a daily basis, regardless of any issues? What is your suggestion here for
well,
people?
I think we should, and I think we should choose, again, make good food choices. It is so important. But then there are some probiotics which, live longer, some more bacteria. Probiotics are just a good bacteria. Yeah, so some live
Yes.
longer, some live shorter. They all have different sort of functions, let's say. So it's
Uh-huh.
all about the variety. It's not just saying I take this probiotic forever. It's about a
So,
variety, and then
so I suppose in my understanding, if someone was to book in with you, like myself, for a session, this is something that you would go over in your consultation, and
oh yeah.
you actually put um a package together for people to actually walk, for them to walk away with and implement into their life. Is that correct?
Yeah, I do run a program which is a 21-day program to help reset and restore the gut balance to a good extent. So it's not a detox. I know many people talk about detoxes and stuff, and detox are great, and everybody should do it. But I'm never someone for extremes. So if you try to do anything very extreme, then don't do it for a long period of time. But a little bit of, again, awareness, of what we do is always good at a time, and stripping out certain things. But a detox, if you think about your most cozy room, whether that's your living room, your bedroom, whatever, take a living room, okay? Now that's a room where we kick back, where we chill, where we feel good, we decorate it with things that mean something to us, yeah, and create this cozy feeling. Now, over time, I mean, I use lots of candles at home. The soot might just sit around the picture frames so that you can't wipe off the walls. And, maybe with kids and dogs and whatever, there might be a hole in the carpet here and there. So things get a bit of wear and tear more than you like. Now you can put a runner over a hole in the carpet, but that doesn't make the hole go away. Okay, it just looks a bit nicer. But next time the kids run over it, the runner goes, the hole is there, and it's just annoying. So you get to the point where even a spring clean, where you clean the milky glass and the, you know, maybe pull the settee forward and, you know, get the round corners edgy again. Yeah. So that is like a detox. That means we do a spring clean and then we put everything back in. But again, the holes are still there. What you want to do is you want to really declutter and clear out. You want to do a refurb every one in a while.
Wow.
So,
wow.
and when you do
I love this analogy. I love, keep going. This is amazing. I'm getting this now. You really understand my process of learning. I thank you.
I work a lot with children, you know.
There you go. I mean, you know, you both could say that I'm very young. I'm only 40 years old. I would take that as a compliment. Thank you.
Spiritual baby, and we're all children. That's what my daughter says. You know, we're all children, and we absolutely are. You know.
Yeah, we are. No, but see, when you're looking at in a refurb, if you get the wallpaper off and get the flooring up, and then you seal the holes in, you know, in the wall and the cracks in the wall, and maybe put some new flooring in, you might decide on some new light fittings, new color scheme maybe or so, and a few pillows. But the settee generally is okay, and you know your cupboards or cabinets are still okay. So what I mean is you change a few things to give it like a new kickstart, and a few things are okay. And that is really so that the program that I work with is more doing that on the body. It is giving you the refurb for a new start. Now, again, one thing that's important is health and healthy lifestyle, or health in general, is not a pill. It's not a program. It's not, I do this for 3 weeks and I'm cured forever. I'm popping that pill and that's going to sort my problems. Yeah. So people who come to me and say, oh, you know, have you got something for my XYZ ailment? The answer is no. I haven't got anything. I'm not a doctor. I haven't got any pills. I haven't got anything for any ailments. What I do have is advice of what you can do to empower your body.
And can I just ask, how do you, obviously this is a very specific person-centered approach. So if I come to you, how do you diagnose what my body needs and what my gut needs?
Well, I do have a lifestyle analysis, we call lifestyle analysis, which is a questionnaire that was developed by medical nutritional experts, which looks at our bodily systems. Our body is a bit like a chain, and every chain has different links to it. And every chain is only as strong as its weakest link. So we look at what sort of your weakest link is, you know, because all our bodily systems are interlinked. Our immune system, nervous system, intestinal system, digestive system, you name it, you know, all those. And so I start with that, which is a questionnaire. Then there's also a bit of, we're going into your personal, into your history, your medical history, your life history, so things, and we look at where the aches and pains and things are.
Yeah, I mean,
now,
this is more bespoke than I might have imagined, because I may have sort of thought that there's quite a broad umbrella where we can say to people generally, okay, try and reduce on this side, try and increase on this side, and that is going to be beneficial for everyone. Right. So whereas what you're talking about is much more person focused than what I might have anticipated. I was sort of expecting a 21-day program that was a one size fits all almost.
Well, the program itself is a little bit like one size fits all, because at the end of the day, and now I'm saying, you know, all disease begins in the gut, with a caveat that I mentioned earlier, or the preempting, obviously. But there is a lot. So the gut has this impact on so many areas. We've got a gut-brain axis, which I mentioned. We also have got a gut-heart axis. We've got a gut-lung axis. So now under COVID and the coronavirus, all the respiratory problems, there's a huge link that they've found, and they are re-investigating as we speak, really, in terms of, you know, the gut-lung axis and the breathing to help. So there's a massive amount. Over 70%, coming back into some figures quickly, over 70% of our immune system, our immune cells, are birthed and trained in the gut. Okay, so I actually do a talk that's I do tomorrow actually. It talks that, you know, why every child should kiss a dog. And I was saying earlier, Evan, that, you know, I was saying earlier, I talk about how the bacteria, how our living impact things. Now, our immunity. Our immune cells are trained by the gut bacteria. So and there are two or three things to look at. One thing is, if we haven't got enough diversity of bacteria, then the immune cells cannot be taught what is good and what is bad. So if we're thinking of, I just said about a dog, if we're thinking of people who have a dog hair allergy or a horse hair allergy,
Yeah,
or
that's
they're
me. Dog hair
allergic,
allergy. Yeah.
or they're allergic to pollen or
Yep.
something.
Yep. Yep.
Now, generally, no danger in pollen. There's no problem with a bit of dog hair or horse hair in general. But if your immune system never learned that, then the immune system might attack it. And that's when our allergies and intolerances start.
I see.
Okay, so sorting out the gut, I see lots of people who have struggled with hay fever, which is out there big, you know, and it's all of a sudden, I haven't got any symptoms anymore, you know, I haven't got, or, you know, by addressing that, who are, even my partner, he was hugely reactive to horsehair, and me having a horse, although that stands in the stable, the horsehair is in the carts and the house is everywhere. Yes. Yeah, I mean, he lived off antihistamines everywhere. I've binned them all. I just recently found a pack that was so many years out of date now, but that was just not just addressing the gut. That was even before we had the gut program, but just really better nutrition and food, and by, you know, enabling the body and giving the body what it needs. So quickly about the immune system, so we've got that. We've also got the situation that we don't train the gut enough. The immune system enough. Now, our body being sophisticated, it's a bit like you're a fireman, yeah? Even if there's no fire around, they're constantly in training. So they know what to do when the fire breaks out, right? And that's what our immune system does. It wants to be trained. So actually certain byproducts of our metabolic processes are so that they're harmful, but they're harmful in an amount that the immune system can deal with it, but the immune system get constantly trained on it. It's when we overload toxicity, which is what our lifestyle does when our body struggles. So autoimmune is, if the body doesn't have enough exposure, enough training ground, then the immune system starts to look for training ground and it starts to attack ourselves. And that's where all these autoimmune diseases arise from.
I see. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's a huge starting point for autoimmunity, and so many different ones. And again, it's all a lot more complex. I really need to make sure everybody understands it's all a lot more complex what I'm saying, but it is, you know, we need to draw the picture somewhere.
We're squeezing a huge topic into 1 hour. We
Yeah,
understand that
exactly.
this is
So
literally just the seed. I love the firefighter analogy.
Yes.
If the fires, you know, it's the Great Fire of London, and the firefighters are just out fighting fires all day, every day, there's no time for training, you know?
Yeah.
So no, I think that's so powerful.
So and then with it, that sort of, you know, our immune system there, and then what it's got the what do the bacteria do in terms of digestion? Yes, they break down our food further, but you also need certain bacteria to metabolize important vitamins like your B vitamins, which are important for your energy production.